wonderful is happening to and through and as me. Yes? Okay, let's try that again. Something wonderful is happening right here, right now, in, as, and through you. Yes?
That's right.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Revealing Experience, everyone. This is Daye. She's going to love us up too. And we're going to sing a welcome, yes? Here we go. Come on in, we welcome you. Come on in, we welcome you. Let go, be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love, joy, and cheer. So come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We welcome you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We welcome you. Let go, be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here. We're spreading love, joy, and cheer. So come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We welcome you. Come on in, 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 come on in. We welcome you. Come on in, 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 come on in. We welcome you. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, Jim, you catch me when I fall every time. Thank you. And so we move into that open heart space where we sing about the truth of who we are. Reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. Reveal the peace. Reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. The joy. Reveal, reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be. And every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the joy in me. Reveal, reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love I was meant to be. Every time I open up, love is what I see. Every time I open up, peace is what I see. Every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the love. Reveal the love in me. That was beautiful. Thanks, darling. Okay, got it.
And so from this peaceful place of love and peace and joy, from this energy of opening and newness and beginning, let's take a moment to cherish that. Moving into what we know, what I know, what everyone here knows, that God is the power and the presence into all eternity. Everything that has ever been created is here because God is here in, as, and through each and every one of its wonderful miracles. And knowing that it's the blessed energy that we use and we take advantage of and we embrace ourselves in every Wednesday night here as we move into that God space that is in us, around us, through us, and we fill ourselves with all that each one here brings. For love is grand, love is gracious, love is kind, and God is all of that. And so it is. So hello, I'm Jan, and this is the Wednesday night revealing service. And it's September, got a month ahead of myself. September. And I'm so glad that it's my opportunity to sit here tonight and be with you. And this is my reward for a very, very long day of physical therapy. So I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Sunny, for your beautiful music. Thank you, Jim, for those keys. Thank you, Cole, for the sounds from the drum. It brings us here and makes us complete every time. And so we've been getting booked up here. This is that revealing service, and we've been reading the Science of Mind text all year. We have a special passage for tonight, and we have some extra little exciting things going on tonight as well. So you never know what's going to happen here, and that's the beauty of it. And so as I was trying to figure out what I could read tonight in conjunction with that, I decided that the best thing for me to do was to read exactly what I needed to hear. Have you ever done that? You open up the book and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to read, and then you open it up and you go, oh, okay, I got that figured out. Because for me, this movement through this new experience of not completely being able to do everything for myself is brand new. And sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. So I'm reading from 365 Days of Richer Living by Holmes himself and Raymond Charles Barker. And the passage today is, I sing life's song of joy. You are part of the universal mind, one with universal substance. You live, move, and have your being in pure spirit. All the wealth, the power, and the goodness of this spirit exists at the center of your being. You experience the good in such degree as you accept, believe it, and feel it. As you enter into life, feeling the divine presence in everything, more and more of you will hear a song of joy singing at the center of your being. You have only to be still and listen to this song of life, for it is always there. Knowing that the loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I feel its loving protection around me. I know that a song of joy, of love, and of peace is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my mind. I turn the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life, into brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of radiant spirit. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. Joyfully, I anticipate greater abundance, health, more success, and a deeper peace. Joy wells up within my mind, and life sings its song of ecstasy in my heart. So we have another opportunity to see what gifts and glimmers and gems come forth to us this evening from Reverend Sunshine. So let's do that now.
Thank you, Jan. for that beautiful reading and that great prayer. We're so happy to have you back with us on Wednesday nights, knowing your wholeness. Amen. Hi, everybody. What a great, great, great Wednesday this is. Is it only great for me? Has it been great for you so far? Yeah. And we're actually going to have an opportunity to enjoy that greatness and do something wonderful and something different today than we've ever done before. And that is, part of the revealing experience and part of our revealing service is that we believe that we're each revealers of truth. Those, Ernest Holmes said that those who live in close proximity to God. What he meant was those who entertain and those who are remembering the truth of who they are. Because the truth is that God is living and being us right now. But when we forget and we walk around thinking that we're just these mere mortals or mere humans, life happens to us. However, we are each revealers of truth. And that truth comes not just from the ministers or the practitioners, but it comes from those among us. So today we have the wonderful opportunity to listen to one who has come from among us, to talk about his experience and how he's integrated science of mind principles in his life and what that has done for him. So it's kind of like what it used to be like, what happened, and kind of what it's like now. So what I can tell you about this particular individual is that he's an amazing human being. He's an entrepreneur, and he is just love radiating. You know him because he's our brother. So I like to bring up Doug Sutton. Perfect.
Hello, is this working?
Yeah.
So good evening. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you for being here. I have a great deal of respect for your investment of time, and I don't take that lightly. I know that there's so many different things you could be doing on a Wednesday night other than being here, and the very fact that you chose to be here says something about who you are and what you're committed to. And again, it's an honor to have this opportunity. More than anything else, this is, I guess I'm free-flowing more than anything here today. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to say other than the fact that I was asked to come up here and talk about how I've used this stuff and integrated it into my daily life. And more than anything, to me, it's about becoming more conscious with how I live my life and what it is that I allow myself to do on a daily basis. You guys have all probably understood that the way that we think controls the way that we feel. Does that make sense? Our thoughts control our feelings. And our feelings, on many levels, cause our actions, and then our actions produce our results. And what many people do is they'll look at results and they look at where they are in their life, whether it's their relationships or their career or their physical health or a state of being, state of inner peace or potentially lack of. And they'll look at that, and by looking at whatever might be on a physical level, they'll allow that to control more thoughts that are in alignment with what those results are, and those thoughts control more feelings, those feelings cause more actions, and those actions produce more results. And that's why we tend to see that cycle, so to speak, people either in a rut or in a really, really awesome flow. And sometimes we feel that. Sometimes I feel that in my life where it just seems like, when it's good, and it's just awesome, and things are going so well in different areas of my life. And there's also the contrast to that, where there's been opportunities that I've experienced where things haven't been so, I should say, the way that I would prefer them to be. And by focusing on that, what happens is that there's a calibration, there's an energy, and there's a vibration that I'm sending out. And those thoughts control more feelings, which cause more actions, which cause more results. And what I've found and what I can honestly say for myself is that the more that I've integrated these practices into my daily life, I have an opportunity to become more conscious. And that's where meditation, affirmative prayer work tremendously well. And it's not just about the Wednesday services or the Sunday services. What works incredibly well for me, and again, I'm one of you. I will say this though, it's the classes and really signing up for classes, whichever ones. How many of you have actually taken some classes here? I mean, they're incredible. And what I can say is when I'm in them, there's daily homework assignments. There's a small group. I mean, we see each other each Wednesday. Those of you that come consistently, we'll have an opportunity to talk afterwards. And when you're exchanging phone numbers and really in the work with someone, it's incredible. And practicing every single day. You know, it's one thing if I were to watch a great inspirational talk about how to get in shape and how to exercise and eat healthy, I can be like, yeah, that's incredible. And at the same time, it's still up to me to go to the grocery store and get the groceries and then to eat and exercise on a daily basis to make sure that I'm actually realizing and experiencing the results. So it does take that integration piece. And so some of the daily practices for me, again, it's really immersing into the work and doing the seminars or classes, I should say in this case. And then I actually, when things are working really well, it's going into meditation. And one of the things I know to be true, and I say this to people all the time, and the nature of what I do as a consultant, and I do a fair amount of speaking in case some of you have asked before about that, is that truthfully the answers are all within. And so oftentimes we go out to other people and ask people for their advice of what they think we should do or how we should live our life, or we'll read a newspaper or magazine or go to the internet and read articles from someone else. And the truth is, if we allow ourselves that opportunity to go within and truly listen and learn how to listen, the answers are all within. And from that space, it's just amazing to become more conscious and to observe what those automatic thought patterns are and how they just fire off automatically, and we're not even aware of how they fire off. And again, some of them could be working really, really well, and some may not be. So what I've found is really important is to take an inventory, and whether it's weekly or monthly, to really sit down and actually journal on where am I in each one of these key areas of my life. There's the concept called the wheel of life, and you guys may or may not have seen an exercise like this where you just have a circle and you draw some lines like spokes in the wheel, and you let each one of those lines represent a different important area to your life, whether it's your physical health, your relationships, your spiritual path. If you have a romantic relationship, you can rate that and take an inventory of where is it on a scale of 1 to 10, and are we in balance? And if not, become conscious of what are my thoughts, feelings, and actions relevant to that specific area of my life, and is that serving me? And if it's not, how can I become more conscious? And for me, I know this to be true from my own individual experiences, that there is this thing that we learn here at United Centers for Spiritual Living called affirmative prayer, and actually planting the seed into the soil of consciousness. So knowing the truth that God is all there is, and that I'm one with that presence. And as we're affirming that, what are the specific areas of our life that we want to affirm? So if it's a relationship, if it's experiencing love and surrender and unconditional love and acceptance, if it's experiencing perfect health, if it's experiencing abundance or whatever it might be, that we know that to be true about God, and we know that we're one with that, and therefore we know that we are that. Right? And so we affirm that. And there's this realization piece that I realize, I know that this is true in my life. And then that process of spiritual mind treatment, that we give incredible thanksgiving and gratitude for that. And then we release that into the law, knowing that that's the way that it is, knowing that that's the word, that that's how it works. And it's that process and surrendering into that I've found works incredibly well. Now, in no way am I going to sit here and say that every single area of my life is always so amazing, because that's not the case. And I'm so grateful that I have these tools, and I'm so grateful that I have an opportunity to come to a spiritual community like this and to have classes. I mean, guys, I've literally invested in my life tens of thousands of dollars in personal development seminars and programs. Bob Proctor, if you guys are familiar with the name from The Secret, he was the very first person that I met on my 21st birthday that kind of got me on this path. And I went through a program with him every other week for an hour for a year. He and I were one-on-one on the phone, not in a group program. It was just Doug and Bob. And I'm so incredibly grateful for that and so many of the investments that I've made. And I can honestly say I don't know of a better path than what I'm experiencing here right now. And I'm just saying this because it's the truth as I see it to be. So to have this, I truly believe is a rare opportunity to have a community like this to tap into. And I'm just incredibly grateful for it. So I don't know if there's anything else I should be saying or anything like that, but I don't even know how long I've been going, but it's awesome. So always around, and I just implore you, no matter what you choose, because that's the other thing for me, this is a spiritual path that works really, really well for me. There's many different ones out there that work really, really well for other people, and I honor no matter what that path looks like, find something. And just allow yourself to immerse into it and make it part of your daily practice. And if I have any hope, it's just that you find that path and you identify how you can go within and develop practices every single day to go within and know the truth of who you are and affirm that in every single way you possibly can. And the other thing that's important for me is consciously choosing who I allow to have in my life and who I want to spend time with. Because what I also know to be true is when I'm around like-minded people that are seeing the light within me and that are lifting me up, there's this positive effect from that. And I also want to give the same thing that I'm hoping to receive in return. And as we do that, there's a calibration that happens, and there's a ripple effect that happens not only here in this local community, it ripples out. I truly believe that into our world. And so the more that we can honor other people for the path that they're on, no matter what that looks like, and hold space for people, seeing them, loving them, accepting them, it puts us in that place too. And more amazing good things come into our life. And that's all about circulation. And I could go on and on and on about all kinds of stuff. So we can save that for a different topic on a different day. So,
Good deal.
cool?
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Beloved, he's one of us. Doug Sutton, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. We love you. I think we just hit a home run. Thank you so much for setting up the scene, And this is exactly what I talk about week after week, is that it's important for us to not only hear it, but then to know how it's working in somebody's life, in your life, in each other's lives, that we might continue to support one another and that we might continue to grow and bring a friend and really begin to practice knowing the truth. Practice knowing the truth. Our reading today out of the Science of Mind book, as we've been reading day after day, just small bits and pieces, it's about the unity of all life. And I love that Doug touched upon how he uses spiritual practice to stay connected and to recognize and to know the truth. Because it is to the degree that we know the truth as to who we are and what life truly is about, it's to that degree in which we really get to live our genuine life. When we forget who we are, when we forget that our life is God, when we forget that that's our truth, we settle for mediocrity. We settle for the peanuts when we can have the whole warehouse. And some of us might think, well, I don't really need the whole warehouse. But why settle for peanuts when it's not enough? When we're constantly going, this is not enough, that's not enough, there's not enough. When indeed the truth of who we are is that because our life is God, that we are abundant, that we are joy, that we are love, that we are peace. And the more I recognize that and realize that, and the more that I accept that that's my truth, it's to that degree that I really get to fully live and to fully experience the grandeur that is life. The reading today, speaks about peace. He says on page 493, and I'll just read a couple of little things about it that really stood out for me today that I just really want to impress upon us. He says, the unity of the Spirit is kept through the bonds of peace. Other than peace suggests confusion and separation. So, when we're not experiencing peace in our home, peace in our land, peace in our bodies and our minds, when we're not experiencing peace, it suggests confusion and separation. So the moment I am not experiencing peace, if I do what Doug says, which is an inventory, if I just stop, look, listen to the thoughts that I am entertaining, or the random thoughts that are passing through my mind, or as Doug says, ants, the automatic negative thoughts, right? If I stop when I'm feeling anything other than peace, it's because I have this belief in separation. It's because I believe that you and I are at odds, or that we are not part of the one that is the one. It is because I am entertaining thoughts that somehow you're better than me, or I'm better than you, or there's some inequality. The unity of the Spirit is kept through the bonds of peace. So when I am feeling peace, when I am at peace, when there's peace in my mind, peace in my body, peace in my home, peace in my city, in my country, in the world, then I know that there's no confusion. But what we're hearing day in and day out, whether we're listening to the news, reading the newspaper, or even if we get online for a moment, there's always that flash about there's war happening, there's this happening, there's civil unrest here, there's things happening here and there, and we're saying to ourselves, there's no peace. And the moment that we say to ourselves, there's no peace in this country, or in our state, or in our home, or in our body, we must stop and know peace. I was just at Saddleback on Sunday, which is in the Lake Forest, and I was speaking there. And after my talk, one of the gentlemen came up to me and he says, "Thank you so much for sharing on spiritual activism." And I said, "Spiritual activism? Like, well, what did I say?" You know, because sometimes I just kind of get in this channeling trance kind of thing, and who knows what I said. But I remember exactly what it was that I said, and he reminded me. Because when I talk about, or when we see on the news that there's wars here or wars there, or there's unrest here, or somebody there's an an up-leveling of consciousness, and people are just not going to stand for it anymore, there's a revolution, or wherever it is, as spiritual people, we may not be the ones to get on a bus and go and rally. We may not be the ones who, sign up to go fight a war or anything like that. But our work as spiritual people is to sit and do nothing, aka meditate, aka know the truth. It's to be still and know peace. So anytime I'm listening to the radio or listening to a CD, or somebody brings up some place where there's unrest, I, as a spiritual person, my spiritual activism, if you will, is to turn away from that. And I'm not denying that it exists, but it is to come to this place within me that knows peace, that knows that peace is, that there's nothing that separates my life from the life of anyone else. That because there's one power, one presence, one life, and that life expresses in many forms and fashions, that energetic, that is God, that is life, that is unity, it is expressing as me, it is expressing as you. Therefore, we have our existence in the one. And as I know peace here within my own body, within my own realm, within what I can be in charge of, as I know peace in my mind, as I begin to accept peace in my body, as I begin to recognize the oneness and the unity of all life, that energetic, that vibration affects the world. It affects others. As my talk begins to be around peace, instead of continuing to promote violence, instead of continuing to promote hatred, instead of continuing to promote judgment, as my language now, because of my practice of peace and knowing peace, as my language now changes to a language of peace and a language of unity and a language of harmony, that vibration begins to affect the world. We affect and we have an effect upon one another. So as I know the unity of all life, what I am turning away from is this idea of separation. And my vibration, your vibration, our vibration, the collective vibration of knowing peace affects the world. And so that's what he was talking about. I was like, wow, I didn't label it spiritual activism, but we can sit and do nothing, meaning sit in meditation and know peace. No peace for our world, no peace for one another, no peace in our home, that we might know peace. This way, we're not in the realm of confusion and separation. When I'm knowing peace, I'm not entertaining confusion. I'm not confused. I'm very clear. It's peace, it's harmony, it's oneness. The Spirit, a perfect unit, and we harmonize with this unity when we maintain a state of peace in our minds. There's one body, one spirit. The entire creation is the body of God, who is one spirit. Within this one body are all bodies, that is, within the one creation, which is the product of the one spirit, are all the bodies. He's simply, again, just reminding us of our oneness. And to the degree in which we continue to know that this is our truth, to the degree in which we recognize that our life is God, our life is God. That essence, that power, that presence is contained within who and what we are. It is who and what we are. Now, we're not the all of it, because it cannot be encompassed in these physical beings, if you will. But that potentiality, this body, this life, is the way God is expressing in its perfect and magnificent way. Even when folks say that we're imperfect, or that we're not perfect. The truth is that we are. We're perfectly human. We are absolutely fulfilling the humanity that is the way God is expressing. So what is it that we're doing, or how is it that we're embracing this truth? I mean, more and more and more, even when I don't want to hear it, I'm constantly seeing more and more situations and opportunities to know peace. Only because people are talking about the separation or the war or this person or that person or this or that that's happening and the discord in the world. And whether it's because I'm experiencing, or whether it's because that folks are experiencing lack of money, lack of health, lack of unity in their home, or whether it's because people are not recognizing the truth of who they are, this is the opportunity for me to know the truth. This is the opportunity for you to know the truth. Anytime something other than oneness and love and joy and peace present itself to you, that is your billboard or your sign, that is your signal to know the truth. So it's almost like driving along the road, car accident. That's your opportunity to know peace, to know health and wholeness. That's your opportunity to know safe travels for all. Oh, You're flipping through the radio channels and you hear that so-and-so reporter, was killed or whatever. That's your opportunity to stop and know peace in that part of the world. Peace for his family, peace for all involved, peace for the person who did it. That's your call. Oh, somebody just got fired from their job, might have even been you. Boom, that's your opportunity to know peace, meaning peace of mind. Because all of a sudden, people get fired, they lose their job, or they didn't get a contract that they wanted to, or they didn't get such and such that they wanted to. All of a sudden, their mind goes to, oh my God, but I was counting on that money. Now what am I going to do? Oh, this bill's coming up, that bill's coming up. I mean, it's really, really easy to go into that place of lack and limitation. Scarcity is really, it's almost like it's okay. And then you start entertaining people. Be like, Cindy, let me tell you, oh my gosh, I didn't get that contract, and now I don't know what I do. I'm going to pay the rent, and the dog needs some food. And Cindy go, oh yeah, girl, I know what you mean. And all of a sudden we start this, this party of lack and limitation. And it's like, wait a minute. Great opportunity to know peace. Great opportunity to know my abundance. Great opportunity to know that my life is the life of God no matter what the world of effects says about me or what it looks like. It is our opportunity to stop, look, and listen to see what the mind is telling us, to see where we get to course correct. Because if it's telling us that we're other than the life that God is, or that we're other than love and abundance and joy and peace, it is a lie. And if we continue to go down that path and entertain that, then that's on us. We cannot allow these random thoughts to create the default of our life or to create our life. We have the option and the mandate as spiritual people and spiritual community to be the one in charge, to remember the truth of who we are. And when we forget, we get to call up a practitioner, or we get to call up one member of our spiritual community and go, OMG, Rosie, I forgot the truth of who I am. Could you remind me? Because right now I'm experiencing lack and limitation, doubt and fear and worry and da-da-da-da-da. Rose can go, sunshine, chill. Don't you know? Remember, you are the perfect and divine way that love, that God, that life, that radiance is expressing on this planet. And that by simply changing your thought, you can change your experience, because your thought will then begin to set something in motion by the vibration and by remembering the truth of who we are. You'll begin to recognize and know that everything is in fact in divine order, and that this was just a little bump in the road, a little hiccup. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I know this to be my truth. And to the degree in which I recognize this and I accept this, I can experience my full and genuine life. There was one other thing in this reading that was amazing for me. This is actually biblical, out of Ephesians. And I like using all spiritual books because they all have nuggets that we can use for our lives. So what he's saying here is taken from Ephesians. It says, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. And Ernest Holmes breaks it down for us. He goes, one Lord, who is the indwelling Christ. Now, Christ is not Jesus' last name. Okay? Like Daye, that's my last name. But Christ wasn't Jesus' last name. Christ is actually, what it actually means is the enlightened one. So he was known as Jesus, the enlightened one. the enlightened one who was enlightened, one who studied, who knew, who realized the truth of who he actually was. Simply when he said, when you see me, you see the Father, which sent me. When you see me, you see God. So he was the enlightened one. So the one Lord is the indwelling, enlightened one, which is God. The enlightened one. That is who and what I am, right? There is but one faith, for faith is the affirmative mental attitude toward the universe. So where is our faith, or what is our faith? Our faith is the affirmative mental attitude towards the universe. So I get to check that out. What is my mental attitude toward the universe? Is it negative? Is it, I'll never amount to anything? Are we buying into all that? I'm not slim enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not dark enough. I'm not light enough. My hair's not curly enough. I'm too this or too that. What is our attitude toward the universe? That there's enough or that there isn't enough? So the one faith is a positive mental attitude toward the universe. Peace, again, the unity of all life. That's the mental attitude that we're here to cultivate and to know. That's the one faith. And then the one baptism, which is the realization that we are in the one Spirit. So baptism is just simply, when I think about adults or children being baptized, the dunking of the water and coming out of the water. That water was cold. It's that renewing. It's kind of like, okay, what do I see differently? What do I know differently? So it's the realization, okay, I'm going in, I'm letting go, I'm releasing in the water, I'm being cleansed of that which no longer serves me. And when I arise from being dunked in that baptism, I am coming to, I am in the realization that we are all in the one Spirit, meaning that we are all having our existence in that one power, one presence that is God, because there is nothing outside of God. There is nothing outside of God. That's the unity of life. That is the unity of life. That my life is God like everyone else's life is God. It's the way that love, joy, peace, abundance is expressing in, through, and as you. So I can't belittle you, or I can't try to make you feel less than, because you're the life that God is. You're the beautiful way that God is expressing. What I get to do is exalt you, is to recognize you, to honor you, to treat you as the life that you are, which is God. That is the truth. And so our mental attitude is developed and cultivated through our spiritual practice. And it's our daily spiritual practice that helps us to remember the unity of all life. And that when I am not in a place of peace, it's because I'm believing more in separation than I am believing in the unity of all life. So right now, whether we're feeling a little out of whack because of the situation in other countries, whether we're feeling a little bit off kilter because of what's happening in our own country, whether we're feeling a little out of whack or out of sorts, maybe because of, what we've been told about the state of California and where we are with our water consumption, or whether it's that we narrow it down here to our Seaside community and we're feeling the loss of our beloved Reverend Fran, or whether it's that we narrow it down to home and we're having some discord with our loved one or a child or a parent. Whatever it is that we're feeling discord about, right now, we're just going to enter the silence and we're going to know peace. We're going to know peace for ourselves individually, for our family, for our city, for our spiritual community, for our state, for our country, for our world. And we're just going to see peace in these areas, and we're going to know that our life is that same life. My life is your life is my life. That this life that we have, that we're living, that we're experiencing is really the divine way that God is expressing. And so we're just going to know peace for just a few moments, knowing that things change, but that our life is still the life of God.
Peace within, peace
peace within. And as we see peace within us, we can then see peace throughout the world. So we cultivate that peace and the knowing of peace within ourselves. And as we do that, we release any idea of separation, any idea of an otherness. For we simply begin to know and feel our oneness, our unity, and the unity of all life. We begin to release confusion, and we begin to simply release anything that is unlike the fullness of peace and anything that is unlike the full expression of our God self. And so how grateful I am for this spiritual community, for those who have come forth and said yes to their awakening, to their own awakening, to the awakening of a world that we might know our life is God, that we might know and experience peace to a greater degree and a greater level, that we might realize and recognize our positive mental attitude toward the universe, that we indeed care for and about one another, that we care for and about our planet, that we care for and about all. Because the truth is that irrespective of our gender or our sex or our age or our race or what country we live in or the borders or flags or the things that are been designed to separate us, as we know the truth, we know that these things could never possibly separate us, for we as a collective are living and breathing and having our beingness and our oneness in God. And God is living in, through, and as each of us, beautifully and magnificently and powerfully. And so we release any thoughts of mediocrity, any thoughts of lack and limitation, and we just simply embrace that which is our truth. And we dive into it and we marinate in it and we simply bask in the glow and in the truth that our life is God. And that as I see peace within, and as I know peace in my heart, in my mind, in my body, that as I open my eyes, I begin to see peace in the world. And that I see that because I recognize the unity of all life. And so how grateful I am that I know this truth. And that even in changing times, that this is the nature of life, and that I still get to see and know that this is the truth of who I am. And that I still get to see that this is the truth of who we each are. And so if there's anyone that you're holding in prayer right now, please speak their name out loud. Carl. Knowing that right where they are, peace is. The peace that passes all human understanding. That right where they are, that presence that is love, that is joy, that is abundance, that is harmony, that is comfort, that is God, is right where they are. And that by simply speaking their name, that we're simply embracing them with the love and the joy and the peace that we are. Knowing and seeing their wholeness and simply calling forth peace in their life now, that they may experience more and more of the truth. And so it is from this place that I give thanks for this spiritual community and for all that are here within the sound of my voice. And for this and so much more, I give thanks and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Welcome back. And as we just simply breathe in and let that truth settle in for us, we continue to stay conscious and stay awake, alert, and aware, as it is indeed our giving time. So as you simply transition from accepting the truth and knowing your abundance, please welcome our ushers forward. Melissa and Dennis, thank you so much for your service. And please take out your gifts, your tithes, your offering, that which you are about to share with this spiritual community, knowing that giving is a spiritual practice and that we're simply investing into our spiritual community so that we can continue to hear from those among us, as we heard from Doug, what this spiritual community is doing in the lives of the individuals who come here and what happens for us as a collective. So as you give with that sense of gratitude, that when it happens for one, it happens for all, and that we're investing in our spiritual future, we're investing in our spiritual home, and that we're making sure that we're here for time and time and time and time to come, that we might awaken together. So we simply bless that which is about to be placed into these baskets, knowing that we use them not only for the benefit of Seaside, but also for the greater community, knowing that Seaside is a great steward of that which it is given, that it also ties into greater communities, that we might awaken to knowing the truth of who we are. So we bless the giver and we bless the receiver, knowing that the reciprocal nature of life and the circulation of life and of the financial energy is coming to and from. And so we give thanks for this and we bless these gifts and tithes and offerings. So it is. Amen. Go forth, ushers. Thank you for your service again. Thank you, congregation, spiritual community, for your giving and your generosity. And please open your generous hearts and receive the beautiful music of Sunny Daye, Jim Bianchi, and Cole Miller.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. Nothing goes unchanged. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. But that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of. Oh, except rain comes from the clouds winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Everything will change. The young become the old. Mysteries to unfold. But that's the way of time. Everything will change. There are not many things in life you can be sure of. Except rain comes from the clouds, the sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry. Everything will change.
That's Sunny Day, Jim Bianchi, Cole Miller. That song is dedicated to Reverend Fran. So, we are all revealers of truth, beloved, and we have a few moments to hear from you what truth has been revealed to you and what truth you'd like to simply share with our spiritual community. Hi, Rose. How are you, beloved?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sonny, Jim, and Cole. Wow. Actually, what I'd like to, I have an offering to bring because I'm just feeling it in my heart. And thank you, Doug. Wow. This weekend, Jennifer and I, and actually a few of the Seaside community, took a course for becoming oneness blessing givers. And I would like to offer for anyone who would like to receive a oneness blessing, which basically opens, invocates, and opens to the divine, to allow the divine to come in, into the heart, into the body. So anything that you may be carrying that is challenging, I would like to make that connection to the divine within you. It's just a 30-second to 1 minute experience. I'm going to set up a chair out in the back, and so anyone that sees me there, once I've said hello to everyone, and would like to receive a oneness blessing, then please come and see me. I would really be honored to offer that to you.
Thank you. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate that. Hi. I love it when new people just share with us their truth. Wow. I mean, I'm talking new on the mic.
Yeah. Well, I just want to, my name is Elizabeth. I've been with religious science for many, many years. And I was going to share the fact that the first demonstration I had with religious science showed that we have everything we need here. My mother, when I was 17, hemorrhaged to death. And on the way to the hospital, she had given my dad a phone number to call. I didn't know who it was. It was a minister and practitioner of religious science. She was at the hospital, unbeknownst to me, already declared dead. Sorry, it's very emotional. And when I called him, he said, I'll get right on it and I'll work right away. I didn't know she'd already been declared dead and that they couldn't find her blood. But when I got back to her room, the doctor came running out and said, she's back. And she has all the blood she needs. That's oneness, that's presence, that's power.
Thank you. Thank you. It's amazing what happens when we know the truth. And sometimes when we don't know the truth, or we don't know that we don't know the truth, but others know the truth for and about us, powerful. There's a wonderful healing arm in Science of Mind. It says, practitioner, heal thyself. And we do that all the time by simply coming back to peace, by simply recognizing the unity of all life. What a great Wednesday. I'm so glad I get to come here and be with y'all. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I want to thank you all for being here and just shedding and sharing your light and your consciousness with us all. It's so important that you're here. And it's so important that we have a place to come so that we can express and be and recognize and know and be reminded and forget and still be here in community. And I'm just grateful for those of us who come together early to set things up and to make sure that things happen in a great and orderly fashion. So I want to make sure that I thank Ginny Mills. She's our coordinator. Thank you so much for your service and for all the love that you are and making sure that things run smoothly. Want to thank Melanie. Thank you so much. She makes sure that our sound aspect is on hit and on point. Want to thank Tim. He makes sure that those viewing at home and our archives are here on the video aspect of life. Thank you so much. Our musicians, Cole Miller on percussion, Jim Bianchi on piano, Sunny Daye, our vocalists. I want to make sure that I thank Jan Hartman, who brought us our beautiful reading today and prayer. And she's joined by our practitioner, Gail. She's been in the back radiating the light, knowing the truth for and about this service. And our practitioners are going to be available for you after service to pray with you and to know the truth for you. So if you'd like to sit with our practitioners for a few minutes and just simply know the truth, they'll be available to pray with you in our chapel. Want to make sure that I thank our ushers and want to make sure that we give some more love to Doug Sutton today for sharing his story and himself with us. Thank you so, so much. Make sure that you come back next week. Bring a beloved one with you that we might awaken together. And it is now time for us to rise in consciousness, rise to our feet. We sing our closing prayer. It's in your programs, but you'll get it really, really fast. Nicolette, where are you, beloved?
This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open hands, we lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see. With open hearts and open stand. We lift our voices. In love we stand. We lift our voices. In love we stand.
I love you so much. I'll see you in the back for some hugs.
Pray for peace. 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 There's power in the knowing of number of us. I missed this part. Sorry. It's Reba McEntire, and she has this beautiful song called "Pray for Peace." And I suggest if you have a chance to look for it online. Power in the numerous, praying here on earth. We're asking for a miracle to lift up your voice and be the first to pray for peace. 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 Pray for peace.